Hello, Rosie here to you, and welcome back to Let's Play Toy Story 2 Buzz Lightyear to the Rescue. In the previous episode, we conquered Tarmac Trouble. And in today's video, before we go on to the final boss, we're going to be going back and completing the last of the Pizza Planet tokens we weren't able to get on the first run. So without further ado, let's go! Yay, aren't loading times just the bestest thing in the world? It was interesting how, like, Xbox, with their backwards compatibility, they're able to make their games load faster and things like that. I always wonder how that works. Because, like, it is pretty cool and all. I do kind of... This might be a very unpopular opinion. I kind of hope that the faster loading is a thing that you can turn off. Because here's the thing. So, I grew up with loading screens. So, they're kind of part of my DNA. So, like... when the game was loading, you could check something else. Like when I was a kid, like when the game was loading, I'd like go get a sandwich or something like that. Or nowadays, when I'm playing a game, I'd like check my phone and stuff like that. So, I don't know. Loading screens are kind of ingrained into my DNA and things like that. So, yeah, that's something that's pretty amusing. But, anywho, now we're going over this way. Now, one memory that I do remember from the original run of this Let's Play was that, I don't remember if I did this for the entire video, but when we were backtracking like this for the original finale, we like sped up and played music during the parts that we saw before. We're not going to be doing that this time around because honestly it doesn't take that much longer than before to get everything back to where we were before. So down here across this area is going to be the next rubber ducky, so that's going to be pretty cool. Now, what is the functionality of a rubber duck? I always loved that part, because like, it's really fun because what I really liked about Harry Potter, at least in the early stories, was that because Carrie grew up in the Muggle world and things like that, all the people would be asking him like what the Muggle world stuff was like. I remember in the books, Ron was fascinated because when Harry was describing the pictures and the pictures didn't move and stuff like that in the Muggle world, so like that was pretty amusing. It's kind of funny because like now we live in the era of gifts, so who knows, maybe we'll have like printable gifts at some point in the future. That'd be kind of cool. So this is the next rubber duck you want to grab, and next two are going to be in areas we haven't seen before. So yeah, the first run through Alleys and Gullies was kind of not that great because there wasn't really a whole lot that we could do. And yeah, this area right here is kind of neat, seeing like all the trash cans and the running water. That's pretty interesting indeed. But now that we have the thing that we'll need to progress, we're going to see what makes this level actually kind of decent for once. So now that we have the grappling hook, we can go on top of this now. So yeah, that's pretty cool, isn't it? We can actually climb up this area. This level is a lot more vertical than initially believed. So it's pretty interesting because when we get to this point, it kind of feels like exploring a whole new level now. And this is kind of the big reason why I didn't want to speed up this footage. So yeah, that's something that's pretty interesting. So you do want to be careful with this though, because if you fall down, it's gonna take a hot minute to get back up. That's your rooster points, but we're gonna try not to use those too much. So we're headed over this way. So yeah, the only two things we don't currently have at the moment are the last two rubber duckies and the boss's level. That is not a rewind feature, that is just fancy editing that I'm using to make it look interesting. We totally did that the first try. I don't know what you're accusing me of. I am not totally being a lawyer. I always love that part in Liar Liar when they're all like, my dad is a liar. Well, I don't suppose you mean liar. Well, he goes to the court and he talks to a judge. Oh, you mean a lawyer? That's always amazing. Down there, we can see a jerk face we can destroy. But he's out of range, so we're gonna let him live for now. But you're gonna go down there and think about what you did, young man. And you'll be grounded, and you'll not be allowed to use toothpaste until you're ungrounded. Which will be never, because I'm a terrible, terrible parent. What's the longest that you've ever been grounded? Like, I'm genuinely curious about that. Like, I know, like, there's probably not gonna be a lot of comments or anything like that actually talking about being grounded, but I'm genuinely curious, like, what's a good time frame for someone to be grounded? Because I remember one time, like, I don't remember if it was my sister or I think the longest I've ever been grounded was probably like a week or so. But I know like some kids who were grounded for like a whole solid month, like they couldn't go out and hang out with friends or anything like that and things like that. Which I always wondered, when you live in a household where you're like public schooled and things like that, how do you enforce that where they're grounded and they can't go out with friends, but they have to go out anyway to go to school? Because like it kind of seems like you could sneak off or something like that. I don't know. I wouldn't have done that when I was a kid because like I don't know. I wasn't a very rebellious kid. Over here now, and continue on our merry way through our path of glory. Ew, we almost fell. That would not have been pleasant. Alright, you want to be careful with that. I remember this area being particularly tricky when I was younger because the zip lines, those seem to blend into the brick outline on the buildings, especially when playing on like a CRT and things like that. It's a little bit clearer here, but it's weird. Some parts of this game look better on a CRT, other parts look better here. It's kind of a weird experience. Like I know, like if I had to choose, I definitely prefer playing this on a CRT because that's just what I grew up on. But it is kind of interesting playing this on HD TV and seeing things a bit more clearer, even though this game was meant for a CRT release and things like that. So it's something that's kind of interesting. We almost got zapped, but then we didn't. Yeah. Now we'll be going back on the toppy tip of this area. Go here and grab the final rubber ducky. Rubber doggy. What?
No time to lose.
I'm rewinding that. That was dumb. We totally got on top of the thingy. We were totally lined up properly for that. That was lame. Alright, so now we're going over this way. And remember when I said at the beginning of this Let's Play we wouldn't be using the rewind feature too much? Well, I lied. Ha 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 ha. Defeat the clown top boss to get a pizza planet token. This guy is genuinely disturbing looking. Like, I don't get freaked out by clowns that much, but my goodness, this guy is just wrong. This guy is not right. Can we keep doing this? Okay, that didn't work forever, but... Oh god, I never knew how effective the spin attack was on this guy. That's kind of funny. Alright, now we got this, and I gotta say, this is probably like one of the most triumphant moments that I ever had when I was a kid, because, like, you don't get to be on top of this area for a while. And I remember playing this when I was a little kid, trying to figure out some way you could sequence break this to get on top of the building early, because you can get on some of the buildings a little sooner. You just can't climb up very high because you don't have the grappling hook, and buildings are too far away for you to climb much further than that. So I always wanted to know, was there a way to get on here without the grappling hook? Because I just really wanted to know that. I wasn't able to figure it out when I was a kid, and I doubt there's any way you can do it now, but getting on top of here by myself was probably one of the most victorious moments that I've ever had in my life. May not sound like much considering, you know, there's a game for like 8-year-olds and stuff like that, but it was important to me, darn it. And now we'll be going down here and we're going to be talking to the rubber ducky. Thanks for fighting my baby ducklings, boys. It took you long enough. Here is a pizza planet token. Now get out of here. Wait. I saw something. I've never seen before. I'm genuinely curious. There's another thing over here too? What's up here? There's nothing up here! That genuinely made me curious that there's like some kind of secret thing up here. What's the point of this? What's the point of this right here? Huh? Why is that there? That's a secret we'll have to, that's a mystery we'll have to resolve another time. I'm genuinely curious now. What's the point of that thing?
Infinity and beyond.
Yay, 5 pizza plant tokens on this stupid level. Let's move on to the next one.
You don't want to be in the way when my laser goes off.
Now we're going over here and whee! Buzz invented super jumping before Splatoon existed. Yay! I would love to see like a mod someday of like somebody doing a mod of Splatoon, but it's for like Twister characters or something like that. I don't know why, I just thought about that and I think that'd be pretty interesting. Actually, you know what? SpongeBob would probably be a bit more fitting for that because he knows sea creatures and underwater and stuff like that, so that'd probably be a bit more fitting than Toy Story. I don't know how big like Splatoon modding is or anything like that because you know it's... Is there no chicken here? No, there's no chicken here. Yeah, there's gonna be a chicken in the egg. That's gonna be pretty fascinating indeed. Let's continue onwards and go this way. It's pretty interesting thinking about that because, like, the SpongeBob Splatfest was the first Splatfest I ever recorded for Splatoon. And recording that kind of was like the big inspiration to start making Splatoon videos. And ever since then, it seems like I can't get away from Splatoon because, yeah, the Splatfest videos took a long time and things like that. And by the time I finished, Splatoon 3 came out. So, yeah, that's just gonna be one of those games where I'll never be able to escape it no matter how hard I try. I mean, I do love Splatoon and things like that. It's just that I always thought that was pretty amusing. Alright, and you know what? Let's talk about that for a little bit because that came out yesterday. So the Splatoon 2 Grand Finale, that was like a big part of my life to work on for, like the whole Let's Play was a big part of my life for a while. It's really interesting knowing that it's over now because like the entire Let's Play is done. We did everything we could possibly do in the game and things like that. So the Grand Finale was like always that thing in the back of my mind that was like, it's not done yet. It's not done yet. You gotta finish it. It's gonna keep bothering you until you're done with it. And then, like, now that it is done and things like that, it's like, well, it's kind of weird because I don't want to say it's like a weight off my chest or anything like that because that makes it sound like it was more like an obligation or anything like that. It's just more so that, like, my capture card ran out of memory. Yay! Yay, capture card running out of memory. Woo! It's kind of interesting thinking about this compared to the original Let's Play because my original capture card for the first Let's Play sucks. So, for those of you who don't know, like the original capture card I used for the first Let's Play was a Dazzle. And for those of you who don't know that much about capture cards, basically, like the Dazzle capture cards were pretty much what everybody started using when Let's Playing was first starting to become a bit more common and things like that. So, yeah, the original models, at least the one that I had, they only accepted like the AV cables. They didn't have HDMI or anything like that. And the one that I used, it was terrible. So I'm not entirely sure what was the problem at the beginning of it, but for the first good year or so that I started using it, it had this really weird bottom screen glitch where the bottom of it had this weird green bar that was just really hard to look at. And after that I figured that out, it had another big problem where it would lag like crazy. So I'd play through the game, and I'm not making this up. I played through the game and try to play normally, but then like every few seconds or so, like every 20 seconds, I'd have to stop and then pause the game. And whenever like it would look like it'd be going back to normal, then I'd start going again. So it was really difficult to do live commentary, so most of the time I was trying to do pulse commentary instead. And these video files took up quite a bit of memory, at least from what I remember, because I remember having to make sure it didn't go too long because then my computer memory would fill up because I had a lot of other stuff on there. So yeah. Also, this right here, this is the the chick that we couldn't get before. So yeah, that was pretty fun. That was the only reason why we couldn't get all that, and that's the kind of the bigger reason why I hold a grudge against the hover boots to this very day. But yeah, that's what I like about this capture card is I don't have to have it connected to a computer or anything like to record, and I can still connect to a computer if I decide to live stream or things like that. It definitely does have problems, like the problem we ran into during our most recent recording trip with the Collab channel, where like the flash drive we were using apparently wasn't all that good, and that caused some problems and things like that. But other than that, it's pretty decent. I'm considering looking into getting a new one though, because I've had this one for quite a while now. But That's pretty interesting. Yay, 25 coins! That's the age I'm currently am. And now that we've taken care of all that, we have all the Pizza Planet tokens. There's only one more thing for us left to do. It's time for the final showdown. Or Prospector Showdown as it's shown here. I don't know why that's different. Certainly took a while to get over here, but Woody's just up ahead.
Howdy, Space Ranger!
Get him, boys!
And this is the big reason why they didn't disappear when we defeat them like the other guys. They're still here. They're now all teaming up against us. This is such a cool final boss. Like, I know it is kind of unusual that it's probably a little lame that it's just like reusing previous boss fights, but having them all team up against you, and just the way the camera is tilting because we're taking off and they're flying in the plane and things like that. This is such a cool final boss. I love this so much. I always get goosebumps when I come here because, oh my goodness, just having to deal with all these two guys at the same time with the camera tilting like this. I love this fight so much. This is one that like stands out whenever I think about games from my childhood and things like that, because remember, even though this wasn't the first game that I beat when I was a kid, this was the first one 100% on my own. So getting into this area and finishing it by myself the first time, that was such a core memory of my childhood. Alright, the first guy's defeated. I like going for the Prospector last because, you know, he is a big bad guy of the movie, so I don't know, it just seems a little bit more fitting for him to be the last one. Remember when I said earlier about never being able to defeat this guy without taking damage? Yeah, imagine fighting all three of these guys now. Alright, and I'm just going to be quiet for a moment so we can appreciate the music.
Leave us be! Worthless space toy!
Alright, blacksmith's down. All that's left is the Prospector. And now we are dead.
Leave us be! Ow! Stop! Ow! Stop! Go home to your toy chest! Stop! Stop! Ow! Play with it, you toy! Ow!
Well, Stinky Pete, I think it's time you learned the true meaning of playtime. Right over there, guys! No! No! No!
But now we're taking care of all that, we saved Woody! Woo!
Jesse, let go of the plane!
What, are you crazy?
Just pretend it's the final episode of Woody's Roundup!
But it was canceled! We never saw if you made it!
Well, then let's find out together!
Oh, Bullseye! We're part of a family again!
Ma'am, well, I just want to say you're a bright young woman with a beautiful yarn full of hair. A hair full of yarn. It's, I must go.
Well, aren't you the sweetest space toy I ever met?
What's that? Bark, bark? This fellow says he needs to go out back for a little private time.
That critter needs help!
And now we're taking care of all that? Congratulations, you have completed Toy Story 2. This is still one of my favorite games of all time. Like, I was really happy going through this one again and just like revisiting a childhood favorite of mine because growing up, I would watch the movies a lot. Like, for those of you who don't know, I am on the spectrum, so like rewatching the same things over and over again is one of my things, especially when I was a kid. So I'd rewatch the Toy Story movies constantly. This one, Toy Story 2, is by far my favorite movie of all time. And one of the bigger reasons is that whenever I'd rewatch the movie, I always like to try to figure out, okay, and where am I currently at in my current playthrough? This is the scene. Okay, this scene's where I'm currently at in the game. Alright, after this, I'm going to play the game again. And it was just always a fun time. I've replayed this game dozens of times. I've lost track of how many. I think somewhere in the vicinity of like 50 or something like that. But, man, I just love this game so much. So, thank you all so much for watching this Let's Play. I do have a bonus video in mind because there's a couple more things about this game that I would like to go over in a bonus video. One of which is something kind of infamous if you're familiar with the history of this game. There was a secret level that was rumored for the longest time. So what I'd like to do is make a video proving that it's not true. Now we did have a gaming gallery on this level, it's called Woody's Workshop. But the trick with it is to try to get 100 coins in the first level. So, in the bonus video, alongside a couple other things, we're going to be replaying through that first level to try to get 100 coins to prove that it's not true. And beyond that, we will be starting a new Let's Play in the near future. It's going to be a genre that we've never played before, but it's a game that's also very important to me. So thank you guys so much for watching this Let's Play, and next time, later gator to you.